going to say something because she's on mute right now.
We're going live right now. Hi,
All
everyone.
right.
My name is Natalie Ledwell, and this is the Inspiration Show. Today on the show, I have a very good friend of mine who is talking about his new book called Live Big. And he has been a partner of Mind Movies for a long time with the company Mind Valley. And he's a very good friend. So I'm looking forward to introducing you more to him. But before we get into the crux of our interview today, I just want to remind you that once the show is over, don't forget to click the link below this video so that you can download the free ebook version of my best-selling book, Never in Your Wildest Dreams. So let me introduce you to my friend Ajit. Now, Ajit, I have forgotten how to pronounce your surname.
Ajit Nawalkha.
That's right. Just what he said. Now, like I said, Ajit and I have been friends for a number of years, and I know that you work with the company Mind Valley, which we do a lot of work with as well. But for those people who are not familiar with you, can we get a little bit of your background and your story and how you fell into doing what it is that you do right now?
Absolutely. So my name is Ajit Nawalkha, like I said previously, and I was born in a small town in Jaipur, India, in a household of 23 other people. And this house was basically grandparents and cousins and cousins and everybody just crammed into a small space. And that kind of started my journey. My journey started in that house, and as you can imagine, that somebody who is kind of looking for a little bit space in their life because they've been crammed into a small space with a lot of people at all times of their childhood. I was somebody who was very driven to create a wealth for myself, a tremendous amount of wealth for myself. And that got me excited. That got me started on my journey. That got me really curious about figuring out what gets somebody from my type of place to be able to really create a new life for myself. And it wasn't until very late that I really figured it out for myself. And again, I don't claim that it works for everyone, but definitely worked for me. But it was until very, very, very late that I realized that. And my journey kind of took its turn, because first making that decision of saying I want to be wealthy, and then going in into schooling and trying to get an education that can make me wealthy. Then I went into really taking a chance with life and really trying to figure it out by experimenting with different ideas, different businesses, which all bombed, by the way. But learning through all those experiences, eventually landing an internship role with the company Mind Valley, like you talked about a decade ago, where eventually I really learned and started interacting with individuals like yourself and many other trainers and educators and coaches. And I learned from the masters, you could say, in personal development, and how to really rewire yourself to be able to create success that you can create for yourself, irrespective of the circumstance that you come from. It takes the time and the effort and so forth, but you can create the reality that you want to create. And that really got me from the place that I was to the place that I am, is the interaction with wonderful individuals like yourself and many of the trainers and teachers and educators that I learned from. And in the process, I also rediscovered myself, because you see, there was a point in life where I definitely fulfilled my dreams of wealth, because I was chasing it, and I was chasing it real well. So I had the house, I had the car, I had the bling blings and whatever that is that you would want. But I realized that in the process of creating a living, I kind of didn't really create a life. And to really expound on that, it was that I had great wealth. I had tremendous amount of success. If you looked at it from outside in, I was doing great job in the world that was purposeful. But what I didn't have was my health, my relationships, my own inner soul being fulfilled. And that led me to a whole new trajectory of really finding work that was not only purposeful, but also gave me the time and space to create a life beyond just my living, right? So, or thing that funded all of the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to really travel, and not just travel for attending another event, but travel to experience the place. I wanted to have a family. I wanted to have love back in my life. I wanted to be able to reclaim my health and not be overweight, and all that type of stuff that I realized that it seemed right to me, and it seems like the dialogue that we tell the world of work really hard, and then you will be successful and you'll be happy, and that's what you really do everything for. It was only until later in life that I realized that yes, you work really hard, but at what expense? and working hard, does working hard really mean working long? Does that really define us, or there's more to us as human beings than putting how many hours can we clock a day? And that really shifted my reality. That really challenged me, and that is where my book kind of really was birthed. It wasn't the idea when I started the journey. The idea was me just really finding myself, me just really asking the question of saying, is it the absolute truth that you have to work your guts out to be able to be successful? Can you be successful without having to work that hard or working that long? Even if it's hard work, it's at least not a long work. Can you have it all? Can you have all of the elements of life? And what I first found for myself, and then I started working with other entrepreneurs and trainers and teachers, and started to ask them the same questions. And I found most of us tend to work so long that we forget about creating a life, and we only focus on our living, or we are constantly living in a state of anxiety, which starts to hurt our health and well-being and so forth. And all of that led me to really try all these ideas that I was trying on myself with all these different entrepreneurs and trainers and educators, only to find that eventually it all really created that transformation that I could create for myself in their lives as well, which is that you can, yes, have it all. You just need to have certain perspectives to really be looked at differently than what we've been taught and trained on. And that really is the story of me coming all the way up till here, founding many companies, and I run many companies, but I work maybe 4 hours a day.
Yeah. You know, our stories are very similar. I'm also from a very large family. I'm from a country area, not India, but in Australia. And, you know, I think my 30s is what I call my beige years because, you know, Glenn and I, we had like 20 different businesses with varying degrees of success. But I call it beige because beige is such a nothing color. You know, it's like we were going through emotions. And it wasn't until we saw The Secret and we started going down this route of personal development that it actually was the big shift for us. So it's interesting how important it is that you have, yes, you need to have the business acumen. Of course, you need to have that. But you don't get quantum success. You don't get massive success until you actually combine that with the mindset and the law of attraction and the personal development stuff as well. Because when you put the two of those together, this is when you can create outrageous success.
Absolutely. I really believe business is personal, and personal growth is business growth. So if you grow yourself, you will tend to grow your business. And yes, there's practical elements and trainings that you need to really understand the business dynamics of things. But really, if you really think about it, a business success is purely determined by the way the person who has founded that business or runs the business, how they operate in their reality, right? What is their ambition? What is their drive? If they're driven, if they're ambitious, they'll find the way. And that's really the difference that a successful versus not successful business has, is that the entrepreneur itself, the founder, the CEO of the company, is not driven the right way or has been poorly educated to not understand that they need to work on themselves if they want success in their business. I think that's one of the big misunderstandings in the business world, that people rely too much on strategy and don't understand it's about the person.
Yeah, I know. And I have so many friends right now who are going through this thing where they've worked really hard and maybe, and you know, I think because we've been in my movies for 10 years now, and it seems to be this 10-year itch that's happening. And they're either questioning their message, or they're questioning their business, or they're questioning their lifestyle, because they're like, I've worked so hard and I've got to here, and wait a minute, I forgot to get married, and what about kids? And you know, and the point where it's like, well, they forgot about their life. So tell me about to live big. Like, what are some of the points that you really impress upon us inside the book?
So the key point to the book is really that everything is perspective. So that's kind of the summary of everything. It's 25 different perspectives that I share that you may want to consider about you, about time, about team, about product, about passion, about purpose, across many different dimensions of business. And it's not only applicable to business entrepreneurs, it's also applicable to professionals, because what we really dive into is we really question how is it and what is it that we have been trained to think about, and how to really think about it differently. For example, like the conversation we were having about working really long and hard and people forgetting about their life. That usually happens because we become so purposeful, and it's a good thing. Like, you know, I'm purposeful. That's a good thing. Why should somebody complain about that? You shouldn't, but you must also argue is the purpose limited to what you can do for the world, or is purpose also about you? Right?
Mm.
So arguments like that, and to be able to really switch over the perspective and say, if your purpose also includes you, how do we create a life around that? Right? And that's like that's literally the first chapter of the book, is talking about purpose, because sometimes we get the purpose bit so wrong. We make purpose all about the world, and we forget that if we don't take care of ourselves, there is no world, and we can't take care of the world. Or we will take care of the world but become spiteful about it eventually, right? Because we'll be like, I did all of this for the world, and nobody's grateful about it, or I was able to make only a small dent in the universe, right? And because we are so caught up in our purpose, we think it will be all of the universe would be defined by your purpose, but that doesn't happen. It's a dent. It's a small fragment of change that we bring in, which of course then creates the butterfly effect, and eventuality it'll create a huge difference. And that is true about what we do, especially in the personal growth space and business transformation space, is we do a small bit and it creates transformation that will last decades if you do it right. But the question really for us to ask is, how do we define our purpose, and how to really look at that purpose slightly differently, so it creates an over encompassing powerful life. We talk about the concept of time, like I mentioned. We talk about the concept of how do you really think about people. Again, big reason why entrepreneurs tend to overwork is because they think they are the reason why their business works, right? And they have to work really hard for the business to work. That's a common thread, and I see you nodding because I know you've heard it so many times. Where entrepreneurs go, "Yep, it's about how many hours can I put into this thing," right? And they think that's the way, and that's the popular dialogue, right? It's everybody, oh, hustle, hustle, hustle it out, right? And hustle it out sounds really a fascinating story. It's a great story to tell. That's not how business is built. Really, a business is a lot about the function of people that are in the business. If your business is a function of your work and amount of work you do, it's probably not a sustainable business, and it probably won't last test of time. It'll probably end as you end your drive. Like, for example, the entrepreneurs that we were just talking about, if after 10 years they're going, I'm burnt out, why did I do all of this? Well, guess what? That business is going to disappear because now the entrepreneur is not excited about it, right? But a business would last beyond the 10 years because the entrepreneur had nothing to do with the growth of the business. They were a piece of the puzzle, but they were not the entire scheme of things. There were more pieces in the puzzle, and the business can outlive the entrepreneur. It can outlast the passion of the entrepreneur, because 10 years is enough time for you to build out a team that will actually sustain the business and carry forward the business even when you're gone. So the question really is, the argument really is, the proposition really is in that one context. And like I said, there are 25 of these, which will change the way you think about it, and it will change the way your business is built. You will have more time, and your business will grow. So here's one thing that people need to understand. What I found is when entrepreneur works less, their business grows more. It makes no sense to as we hear it, but what I found repeatedly with entrepreneurs is you work when we work with entrepreneurs, and that's the intent of the book as well, you work 50% of the time of what you're working. We'll hopefully reduce your time. If you're working 10-hour days, we'll hope that you'll work 4 to 5 hours a day, and your business will grow anywhere between 30% to 200%. And we have found that result consistent over our different clients, and that's why the book comes in. And because we knew that after a point, I can't really do more clients. I have my own businesses. I do clients just for my passion. But we wanted to offer the book as like a note that you can use and go, okay, I can just flip over and I can use these same strategies, these perspectives, these tools to be able to create a business that really grows consistently, and at the same point in time doesn't take all of my soul.
Yeah. And personally, you're a new father. You have a 1 month son. So how have these principles really played out in how you are now navigating through, having a young family?
So I'm actually really grateful that I discovered before having a family, because I can't even imagine the old version of me being a father, and which is probably why I never wanted to be a parent. I actually wrote about it when I had the baby. I had my son. I wrote about it how for the longest amount of time I never wanted to be a parent. I didn't see the point of it. I was like, it's too much hassle, it's too much work. Why would I want to do that? I have this thing that I'm building. Like it was like business is my baby, the classic. That's what I used to think. And I'm so grateful that I was able to rediscover time. I was able to rediscover teams, and I was able to rediscover what really, really successful entrepreneurs really do, and not just this dialogue that we keep hearing. And because of that research, it allowed me to already create so much time and space that I actually can enjoy the birth of my baby. Like I was with my wife all the time. I'm still back home like 4 or 5 hours a day. I work and then I'm back home. So I get to really see him, like, do the little things, cooing and his first other sound and crying. And I've seen all of it. I'm very grateful that I get to do that because of the things that we talk about in Live Big.
Yeah. So awesome. Darling Ajit, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited for the new book and for the way that it can really reframe for a lot of entrepreneurs how they look at their business. And it stands to reason. If you're stepping out and you have the ability to only work 4 hours a day, that means you've created the right team around you that can actually take the load for you. And that's why I'm eternally grateful for the team that we have at Mind Movies and how they're able to service our community in such an empowered way. Eternally grateful for that. So, darling, if people want to reach out to you and connect with you or get their hands on the book, where can we send them to do that?
So you can get the book at livebigthebook.com, livebigthebook.com, and you'll be able to order through multiple channels. Available for pre-order right now while we're live, but it'll be available for it to ship to you by 11th of December this year. So go ahead and get a copy of the book. You can reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook. Just Google my name if you can spell it, which should be easy, not hard. But go to livebigthebook.com. It'll give you multiple links. We also give you a 21-day program that helps you reset your reality to be able to design your life to have it all. So that comes as a bonus for the book. The links will be inside the book when you get the copy on post 11th of December. So that's how you get the book, and that's how you get connected with me.
Wonderful. Well, we'll make sure that we have the correct spelling of your name on the site here so that people can easily go.
Absolutely.
So thank you. Pleasure chatting to you. Now, guys, I encourage you to let's share this video, get the word out. You can do that by clicking the Facebook and the Twitter share buttons on this page. Now, remember, you can click the banner to the side or the link underneath the video to be able to go straight through to Ajit's website. And then after that, don't forget to click the link below that to download the version of my best-selling book, Never in Your Wildest Dreams. So until next time, remember to live large, choose courageously, and love without limits. We'll see you soon.